Thank you, Amanda. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining today's session, which is to discuss and show you a demonstration of our WisePlanner, BAASS Alerts, and BAASS Web Reports products. On the call today, it's myself and my colleague Yogesh Joshi, who will be going over the demonstrations of the products with me during the session. So the first product, before we actually show you the demonstration, I wanted to go over some key features of our WisePlanner product. WisePlanner is a very simple application that takes the manual steps away from a user in terms of getting the budget set up in your Sage solution. So the current process involves a lot of exporting of data from your Sage solution and then working in Excel to make sure you have the right format, you have the right referential data, and then you populate the current year's budgets. And then you go through the import process in Sage to make sure the budgets end up in Sage. So it's quite a manual and effort-intensive process. So we introduced a product called WisePlanner, which is very simple. And based on our implementations, I can tell you that it doesn't need any training as such for an end user to use this tool because everything is Excel based. So you still get the functionality that you need, but in your tool that you're familiar with it, which is Excel. I will show you the demonstration of the product, but basically what it is if you're doing your budgeting in Sage, and I have a screen here from Sage 300, typically you would have your GL account and then you would have to populate your periodic budgets manually in the screen. That would be an option, or you would go through the import-export process. With WisePlanner, that's all replaced with you just populating the data in Excel, and then we have the functionality as add-ins to save the data in Sage. So with a click of a button, the data for your budget, GL budgets, is automatically saved in Sage, and I'll demonstrate that in a couple of minutes. The other product that we will be demoing today is called the BAASS Alerts. So we all know that there is so much data to analyze, and you really don't have the time to go over and filter out exceptions and deal with those. For example, in a day, if you want to know that how many of my customers' credit limit change, instead of going through reports and comparing data, wouldn't it be nice to just get an alert to say, oh, by the way, your customer's credit limit changed from 5,000 to 10,000, and so did the update in your Sage solution. So the idea with the BAASS Alerts is to keep you informed on any exceptions that occur in your data, and you would receive those notifications either by email or phone text. And those exceptions can be determined by you. So you can tell us, I'm interested in knowing when the credit limits change, or I'm interested in knowing when the vendor's EFT information change, or I'm interested in knowing if somebody changes an employee's pay rate in the payroll system, things like that. So you would be able to tell us what the exceptions are, and those would be configured in your environment, and then BAASS Alerts would send out emails if that's your choice of method of receiving the information, or phone text message if that's what you choose to do. So that's the alert product. And then the third product that we will demonstrate today is called the BAASS Web Reports. Reporting needs are very different by user, and it is very effort intensive and costly to design every version of report for your end users. So what we have introduced is a very simple mechanism to pull data from your Sage solution or any other solution without having to have the education and license for Sage solution. So with a simple browser-based UI, you're able to get to the data real time or in live mode. You don't need a Sage license to look at the report. Obviously, you would only be able to see the reports that you have permissions to see. And in the back end, you can report on any sort of Sage information, or if you're running multiple systems in the back end, we are able to connect those systems and pull out connected or joined reports for you in this format. Even though the output is browser-based, We have Excel-like functions, and we'll demonstrate in today's session what we mean by that. But as an example, I'm able to hide columns. I'm able to do grouping, like in this case, I have the customer number and the transaction type. I'm able to do the totaling and so forth. So you get all the Excel functions in a browser, and that's really amazing for some of our users because number one, they don't have to be in Sage to use up a license, and two, they can slice and dice the data the way they like, including drill downs. So while you are in a browser, I have an example here, which is an AR invoice summary. But if you want to see what that invoice is made up of, you can drill down from within the browser and you can see the line level details. We also have the ability to generate formatted reports or document type reports such as this. I have an example of an invoice form, but let's say if you wanted to generate a formatted report with some header, footer, you're able to use a template. And again, we'll show you during the demonstration how all that works. So those are the three products that we will be demonstrating, the WisePlanner, the BAASS Alerts, and the BAASS Web Reports. And the first product that I will go through is the WisePlanner product. So now what you see on the screen is basically a window, WisePlanner window. And within the WisePlanner window, we allow you to configure your Sage companies. In this example, I'm using the Sage 300 as a database, and I've configured 2 of my sample companies. With each company, I'm able to define what's called a budget template. A budget template is basically criteria or conditions to say, I want to prepare a budget for such and such period for this budget set. Depending on what version of Sage you're using, you could have up to 5 budget sets. What fiscal period you want to include, what GL accounts you want to include, and if you want to filter your GL segments as well. So those are sort of the filtering criteria. In addition to that, you can add referential columns to your budgeting sheet. So as you prepare your budgets, it'd be nice to see what did I budget last year? So you can include that as a referential column. It'd be also nice to see what was my actual for that GL account last year. So if it was 10,000, I can just simply go 10,000 plus an additional 10%, and that would be the budget for my next fiscal period. So you can include referential data from Sage as well. So once you've defined your template, you would say, go ahead and launch this data. And what this will do is it'll pull data from your Sage into an Excel-like sheet. It's populating one behind, but I had one generated. So this is what it would look like. I'll go ahead and close the older sheet and we'll go to the one that just got generated. And basically, as you can see, what it has done, it has pulled the GL accounts that I sort of filtered by with the GL descriptions. I asked WisePlanner to put in referential information, which is the budget for 2019 and actual, because I'm doing budgets for 2020 in this example. And because those are referential columns, I am unable to, I'm trying to type over these, but I can't because they are protected cells. So the only column that I can type into is the budget set 1 for 2020. So I have the referential data for period 1, period 2, period 3, and so forth. And again, depending on my criteria, it will go on for the other GL accounts. Now, if I wanted to now start budgeting process, I'm just going to bring up the Sage screen so you can see that for GL account, accounting and legal fees, I'm trying to budget for year 2020, budget set 1. And if I go to my Sage screen and if I put that account, GL account for 2020, and I do an inquiry, you can see that I don't have any budget numbers. So my intention is to populate the budget figures for this GL account. So here are the ways I can do it with WisePlanner. So I would go here and I would say, because this is Excel, you are free to use all of this Excel functions. So I can say, put in a fixed fee amount and then just say spread the amount, and it'll equally spread throughout the 12 fiscal periods. So again, and you're not losing out the features that you have in Sage, because in Sage you can do this. and therefore we wanted to make sure WisePlanner also has this feature. The other option is I want to take my actuals, because that's the more accurate number, and I want to add a percentage, and then I want to copy that as a formula to my other fiscal to my other GL accounts as well. So you're able to build a formula, or if you want to simply type in a number, you can simply type in a number as well. So you can make use of the add-in functions, or you can build your own formulas. Once you've done that, and because this is an Excel file, if you're not able to complete the budget sheet for the day, you're able to simply save this file and continue the next day or the day after when you're ready to, without you having to complete in a day. You're able to save your work and continue the following day. So let's assume that you have completed the budget, and now you want to populate this data in Sage. The only thing that you would do at that point is you would click on Save to Sage. If I go back to Sage and do a refresh, I see the amount populated there. If you made a mistake, you go, oh no, you know what, I made a mistake, I want to clear it out. So I'm just going to make everything 0, and I'll start on a clean slate tomorrow. I do a save again, and I refresh, and there you have it, right? So I guess the messaging is that we understand that your budgeting process is sometimes cyclical. You would come to the sheet, you would put in your figures, you would have some approvals, and then the WisePlanner product enables you to work with the same sheet, and then you can keep refreshing the figures in Sage without going through the tedious process of import-export. So that, in a nutshell, is the functionality for WisePlanner. Template. Now, let me just go back to the product, and I want to talk about a couple of other features. So in the demonstration, what I did was I created a template, and I said I want to create budget, and I called it 2021 version 1. But you're able to create multiple templates. So you can say version 2, version 3, version 4. So you can maintain unlimited versions. And when your budgets are finally approved, you can say, I'm going to decide to upload revision 1 or version 5. So you're not having to upload everything to Sage. You can handle the approvals outside, and when you're ready and when your final budget version is approved, you can go ahead and go to your template and save the data to Sage. The other option is within WisePlanner is that you can here I just have the 2 GL segments, but if you wanted to separate your templates by GL segments so that you have one template for segment 100 and another for 200, you have the ability to do that as well. In terms of the referential data, I showed you the examples for budget last year and the actuals, but you're able to include, actual current year. Like if you want to see what is the actuals to date on this particular GL account, you're able to do that as well. So with that, I'm going to pass over controls to Yogesh, who will take us through the BAASS Alerts and BAASS Web Reports products.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for attending this session. So today I will be talking about BAASS Web Reports and BAASS Alerts. So first, let me talk about the BAASS Web Reports. So the BAASS Web Reports allows the customer to create any type of reports they need. And as Bharti mentioned, this is a real-time data. Also, we can customize that report and present your data in a friendly and easy format. And also, an important note here is that these reports are on a permission based. So each and every user has its own access to the reports. So as you can see, this demo user has access to only this reports, and this user will be able to execute only this reports. Also, web reports can be customized to join multiple companies side by side by doing side-by-side comparison and much more. So let me show you by executing a report. So we have three types of reports in here. First one is the parameter-based reports. So as you can see, we have multiple date parameters and a drop-down. Well, this report is only configured to have three parameters, but of course you can have other parameters as well. So for example, we have a free form text, a date and time, as you can see, and any dynamic parameters as well, which you want the data to be coming from dynamically, basically. So, and we have also a subquery parameter where you want to, have a subquery result in a drop down. So, and much more parameters as well. So let me execute this report and show you how the result looks like. So this is the result of that report, and as Bharti mentioned in the slide, that we allow you to perform the Excel functions in here. So here, what we can do is we can rearrange the columns as you want. Also, we can sort. Let's say you want to sort by the document date. Also, we can perform a grouping. So for example, we can do customer name, customer number, and by document date, right? So we can do the grouping, as well as we can remove the columns that you don't want. For example, you just don't want this columns, you can do that. So this is about the Excel related functionalities that you can perform here. Apart from that, let's say you want to save this particular view, and so you want, like, whenever you come to this report, you want this exact view in here. So what you can do is you can create a preference in here, and just create a name that you like and save the preference. So whenever you come to this report or this, and you will see this exact view that you saved earlier. Also, I'd like to also mention that we also have the capabilities to generate bar charts, pie charts, and line charts out of this report. Also, you can we have this functionality to export this to Excel, and I'll just show you how it looks like in Excel. So it exported the same format as we saw on the report. So we have that functionality as well. So we have this generate report functionality where where the application will generate this report in a simple format, and if you want to have some functions or some calculation there, you can also create some tags in the template and select the function that you want to perform and the field on which you want to perform that function. And here is the example of that report generation. And if I go at the last page, you will see a sum that is calculated in here. So, and this is not only limited to a sum. You can also do average. You can count the minimum and maximum, and many more. Also, you can schedule. Let's say you want this report to be delivered to your email every week. So you can come here and create a subscription of this report. You can select the schedule you want, and the subject that you want of the email, and how you would like the data to be sent to you in your email, whether it is an attachment or a list. And then the body, that what is this data about. So let me show you an example of that. So this is an example of how the attachment would be sent to you of this report, and it will be the same as the Excel. Well, it is a CSV, so the attachment gets sent as a CSV. And if I just show you a simple form of data in a list, so this is how the simple list would look like when it is delivered to your email. Now, I would like to also mention that we have this customer service, or customer self-service, which is a portal for your customers or vendors. So if you would like to give access to some of your reports to customers, then also you can do that. Again, these reports are permission based, so the customers or the vendors will be able to see the reports that you give the access to. So this is also a tool that we have. Also, I would like to show you about uh, the other two reports that we have. The first one is the second one is the header detail one. So if you would like to drill down into an invoice, that how it was created, what are the line items, and of course you can do that. And again, the same functionality in here. So one thing you notice here, that there are no parameters in here. That's basically how we generate, or we have other type of report. And if we just click here, so we display that data in a Word document. So as Bharti showed in the slide, that we can just put this data into a Word document. So we need to first create a template of that, add some tags, and once you click on this checkbox, this it will just bring that data in here. It will just replace the tags and bring that data here. So and the last type of report that I would like to show you is a simple list. So this is just a list that you see. Basically, this is another type of report that this tool allows. So this is about the web reports. Now I would like to talk about the BAASS Alerts. So BAASS Alerts is an extension of the web reports, where you can keep track of what happens to your data. So for example, if you want a report or an alert that every day, that how many customers were changed, or is there any change in the customer data, any customers were updated, deleted, or inserted, then you can of course schedule that alert for every day, and it will be sent to your email. And if I just show you an example of that, this is an example of a customer's credit limit was changed, and this is how you get notified on a scheduling basis. Another way of scheduling the or creating the alerts is based on a trigger. Basically, so as soon as a data gets entered, or a customer gets entered into the database, the tool will send you an alert. So I have an example in here that as soon as a GL entry is posted about $10,000, you will get an alert. If I just show you an example of that, so it says here that this it was created, and this is the batch number, and this is the transaction amount is about $10,000. So this is how you will get if something happens to your data. By the way, you can just configure the columns that you want to see. This is just an example. So this is about alerts. One last thing I would like to also show you is the dashboards. So you can, as I mentioned in the execution of the report, that we have the capability to create the bar charts and everything, bar charts, line charts, and pie charts. So yeah, we can also do that. And we have you can insert some links in here. You can do some average, anything, and we display this data in this list as well. And again, as same as the reports, the dashboards are also permission based. So every user can have their own dashboards. So yeah, I'd say these are the two the products that we have. And now I will just stop, and I'll just stop for any questions.
First question that we have is, this one is directed towards WisePlanner. Sometimes perhaps in 2019, we bought this WisePlanner, but did not work. BAASS cannot add formula to sum up 12 months numbers. Do you think this can be revisited? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. This is Bharti. So absolutely, yes, please do email support@baass.com with the details, and we'll absolutely make sure that somebody from our team works with you to make sure it's working for you.
Perfect. Okay, next question we have here is saving to Sage 300 per GL account?
The answer is yes. So in the template, in the WisePlanner template, you have the rows which are the individual GL accounts. So when you populate the data, you can populate by rows. So you're then populating just for the one GL account. And when you hit save, it'll save what you populated. If you do not wish to populate other GL accounts, then you're free to not populate any values, and nothing will be saved into Sage. Having said that, saving to Sage is not a final step. You get so many chances and revisions to do that. So that's the beauty of WisePlanner. Do not be afraid to save in Sage, because you can always go and overwrite it with 0 values if you find that you want to repeat the process or you want to change the figures.
Perfect. Next question we have here is, can you use the BAASS alert to send out emails for any postings in the GL?
That's a great question. So we have implemented BAASS alerts for a few clients whereby they want to have an alert when somebody posts an entry greater than $10,000. So the answer is yes. You can put in different criteria or conditions and mention that if the entry is greater than $10,000, then I want the email to go to user such and such. If it is more than 20,000, then I want the alert to go to 2 users. So we are able to do that for you using BAASS alerts.
Perfect. Next question here. Can you send file attachments with the BAASS alert?
The answer is yes. So for example, if you wanted to see all the vendor EFT information changes or bank changes, and you say, instead of sending me the individual alerts, I just want a list of all the changes as an Excel file, we are able to do that for you. So the email will have an attachment.
Perfect. And a last question we have here. Can you use BAASS Web Reports to connect many SQL databases and generate the reports?
Another great questions. Yes, so that's the whole idea of the BAASS Web Reports. Behind the scenes, the database is SQL, and therefore, if you are running multiple systems, we are able to create SQL queries for you to join the databases so that the end user, when they run the report through the browser, all they see is the final output without them knowing that there's so many different systems connected to give them the output they are seeing on the browser. So the answer is yes.
Perfect. That does conclude the question period.
We thank you all for attending today's webinar. If there are any follow-up questions, we'll be happy to follow up. You're welcome to email us for a follow-up session for any Q&A or detailed demonstration. Thank you for attending.